captivates this heart. Jesus, I worship you. Jesus, I adore overwhelmed by Jesus, overcome with love, a glimpse of you, my Savior, captivates this heart. Jesus, I worship you. Jesus, I What else can I do but bow and worship you? All my life I live in honor of my King. What else can I do but bow and worship you? All my life I live in honor of my We worship you for who you are. Elédùmarè, arúgbó ọjọ́, onye dịka gị, onye dịka gị. Elédùmarè, arúgbó before you, no one above you. The rock on which I stand, you rule in all the earth. Great and mighty King, you can do all things. It is finished, they say. Oh, it is finished, they say. On the cross of Calvary, it is finished, they say. On the cross of Calvary, help me sing. Oh, you have your deliverance, you have your healing, everything. My declare it, sing it, you can dance it. It is finished. Oh, 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 yeah. It is finished. It is finished. It is finished.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. See, flashing back to the times I used to do the things I shouldn't have done. Back in the years of my life, that I see myself so rejected. I looked up to the heavens and I saw the shining light shining on me, saying, behold, my son, that I love you. Yeah. Excess love, so much loving you have shown me, just like you've shown the whole world. Greater love and true love you have given me, that no man can give. Oh, I just wanna pour out my heart unto you. Oh, Jehovah, I sing my song to you, my God, and that's why I wanna sing. Jesus, oh, yeah, great and mighty, you are Baba. And if you love you, where I for this, Jimo, Jimo,
Even in a shattered glass, I see myself, a reflection of you. Shadows that chase me, and I run along, doing things on my own, forgetting sometimes that I am nobody, no one without you. Grace, grace all my life, every day I see, and I can't explain it. I'm overflowing with favor because you never gave up on me. Great love, true love, you have given to me that no man can give. Oh, Jehovah, that's why I sing Jesus, Jesus, Jesus.
oh, yeah, great and mighty, you are Baba. And if you love you, where I for this, you gave your life to me like no other, cherishing you in all I do and all I say.
Jésù ni bàbá, ẹ̀rù kankan kò bà mí. Mo ní Jésù ni bàbá, àyà kankan kò fò mí. Mo ti láyọ̀, mo ti lékè, mo ti ṣẹ́gun ayé. Mo ti láyọ̀, mo ti lékè, èmi ti ṣẹ́gun ayé.
Mo ní Jésù ní bàbá, ẹ̀rù kankan kò bà mí. Bó bá ní Jésù nínú ayé rẹ, ẹ̀rù kan kò ní bà ẹ́. Mo ti ní Jésù nínú ilé mi, ẹ̀rù kankan kò bà mí. Mo ti ní Jésù láyé mi, ẹ̀rù kankan kò bà mí mọ́. Èmi ti láyọ̀, mo ti lékè, mo ti ṣẹ́gun ayé. Mo ti láyọ̀, mo ti lékè, every day mo ti ṣẹ́gun ayé. Torí Jésù wà láyọ̀, ìwọ máa lékè, ìwọ máa ṣẹ́gun ayé. Ẹni bá ní Jésù á láyọ̀, á tún lékè, ìwọ tẹ̀ máa ṣẹ́gun ayé.
When the trumpet sounds, our work here is finished. We'll be caught up in the clouds. There'll be no more sickness, no more sorrow, no more death, no more pain. There'll be no more sickness, no more Set your house in order. He's coming back to take us home. The hour is here. Set your house in order. He's coming back to take us home. We'll be singing. Oh,
10,000 tongues are not enough, are not enough, are not enough. 10,000 tongues are not enough, are not enough, are not enough. 10,000 tongues are not enough. 10,000 tongues. There's not a word to describe you. There's no word in the dictionary to describe you. We bless your name. Are not enough. 10,000 tongues are not enough. 10,000 tongues are not enough. We love you, Jesus. Have nothing else to say. Oh, oh,
King Jesus, precious Lamb of God, I worship you to live. King Jesus, the Amen of God, I live to worship you. Hey. King Jesus, precious Lamb of God, I worship you to live. I worship you to live. King Jesus, King Jesus, the Amen of God, Amen of God, I live to worship you. So I render my heart and I render my soul to the audience of one, to the Amen of God. And I render my heart, 'cause he rendered all he had for me, to the audience of one, to the Amen of God. So I bow in worship, I bow in honor, I bow in reverence, I bow in obedience, I bow in alignment, bow in worship, to the audience of one, to the Amen of God. Hey. Take my agenda, search my motives, my God. Let it be about you. Yeah. Oh, I'm aligned to your will. Yes, I'm aligned into your will. Let it be about you. What can I render to a God who gave his all for me? I'll give you my everything. This my life is about you. Yeah. What can I render to a God who gave his all for me? I'll pour out my everything. This my life is about you. I render my heart. I render my soul to the audience of one, to the Amen. To the Amen. I render my heart. I render my and I pour out my life. I pour out my life. Pour out my life to the audience of to the Amen of God. I bow in worship. No one will worship you for me. No one will worship you for me. Jesus, I bow in worship. I bow in reverence. I bow in honor to the audience of one, to the Amen of God. I bow. I bow. I bow. To you. I give you my life. I give you my heart. This is the posture of my heart. This is the posture of my heart. I am a kicking and I'm the assault. Jesus, check it out. Check it out. Check it out. I bow to you. I bow in obedience. I bow in alignment. I bow. 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 Jesus, I pour out my life. Jesus, here is my alabaster box. Yes. Oh, Jesus. King Jesus, precious Lamb of God, I worship you to you. Basil, usable, you can use me. Lost without hope, drifting away. Had no direction when you called my name and you found me. And you loved me. You gave me love while I was lost. No looking back, now I've counted the cost, and you've paid it. My God, I can't repay it. Here I am, Lord, in your hands, Lord. Here I stand, Lord, usable, you can use me. Here I am, Lord, in your hands, Lord. Here I stand, Lord, usable, you can use me. Seeking your face to know who you are and unfold the mysteries you hold in your heart for me. You adore me. Your word is like fire placed on my lips. It burns like an unending, passionate kiss that I long for. God, I want more. So here I am, Lord, in your hands, Lord. Here I stand, Lord, usable, you can use me. Yes. Here I am, Lord, in your hands, Lord. Here I stand, Lord, usable, you can use me. Don't know what to say, God. You take my breath away, God. You can have your way, God. You can use me. I don't know what to say, God. You take my breath away, God. You can have your way, God. You can use me.
are so beautiful, Lord. Thank you for paying the price for my salvation. Thank you for doing what had to be done. I pray that others would come to know your love, Father, that they would praise your name, and that they would be warriors for you, Father. I ask, Lord, for more of your love to give out. I ask, Father, to show me more of who you are. Make us unshakable, God. Make us unbreakable. I pray the ground we stand on would be firm because we stand on your word and we stand on your promises and we stand on your truth, God. We stand on who you are, not who we are, and not our own abilities, but what you've given us and what you've called us to, for your purpose and for your plan, for your redemption. Father, show us the dreams you have for us. Show us the purpose you have for us, that we would not waver back and that we would not be afraid, God, but that we would go boldly, in your name, Jesus, that we would not be afraid. I ask that you use me. Use me, God. Use me, God. Use me, God. Send me, God.
Puputula, sangulula, wesha panchane panyatu koshe chibusa Jesu. Puputula, sangulula, wesha panchane panyatu koshe chibusa Jesu. Yeshua, Yeshua, wesha panchene panyatu koshe chitemwiko Jesu. Yeshua.
every song we could ever sing. Worthy of all the praise we could ever bring. Worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Jesus, the name above every other name. Jesus, the only one who could ever save. Worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. We live for you. Holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder and show me who you are and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around me. Worthy of every song we could ever sing. Worthy of all the praise we could ever bring. Worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Yes, we do. Jesus, the name above every other name. Jesus, the only one who could ever save. Worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. We live for you. Holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder and show me who you are and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around me. Holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder and show me who you are and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around. I know it's dark years before the dawn. Into your life
is not the end. He can roll the stone away. Jesus rolled the stone away. The weight of sin has kept you bound. It seems like death is all around, but he gave you power to speak life again. Jesus rolled the stone away, so you can roll the stone away. Sing out, the mighty sound of revival, revival. Reach out, bring back to life these dry bones, these dry bones. Sing out, the mighty sound. Reach out, said it's in you to reach out, yes. These dry bones. Can these dry bones live again? Can these dry bones live again? And I hear the Lord say, all things are possible when Christ is in control. His resurrection power can roll the stone away. Healing.
And we are back. What a lovely session of worship we had there. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. What did you think about the worship today?
Lovely. Always soothing.
Yeah, very thought-provoking, A great way for you to start your Saturday off, right?
Thought-provoking?
Yeah.
To the worship?
Because you meditate on it and you're thinking.
Yes.
So, yes. Yeah. Anyway, welcome. We are back again for What's
Bonjour.
on Your Mind. Okay, over to you.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Ça va très bien?
Ça va très bien, merci et toi?
What's the other one again? Buenos
Dias.
Buenos dias.
Buenos dias. Dias bon.
And
That's not the correct answer.
hello in Dutch, hello in Finn, whichever one.
Hi,
Say
hi.
the hellos.
Hi in
Say
Finland.
the hellos in your language to us. Come on. Huh? Kedu, Baoni, Sanu. Say the hellos in your language. How are you all? Are you all keeping?
I've got a joke for you. I've got this joke for you. It's really, really funny because you know Maro, right?
Yes.
So Maro was working with us, right? And then someone said to him, Maro, how do you say hello in your language? And he said, hello.
There's some languages is either hello, or
That was funny.
But anyway,
That was funny.
yes, how do you say hello in your language? Tell us. So that we can start opening greeters,
Tell us.
saying it the way you say it.
Yeah.
Have you all been?
I've been good, thanks.
You've been good?
How about you?
Have you had some sunshine? The weather this week has been funny. Starting off a bit cold.
There's been no sunshine.
No sun, but today?
Bank holiday, yes.
Yes.
And then every other day was. I believe God's saving it to make it a beautiful summer. So we just bank in the lovely days to put them all together.
All right. If you're that optimistic.
Mm-hmm.
But we had a lovely summer last year, so we can't complain. This year,
I think we can complain.
well, you can't complain. You can't do nothing about it.
Can't do nothing about it. True. But we can complain. I want a lovely summer every year, but hey ho.
Yeah.
Okay, so as it says on the titles, this is DJ Val, in case you didn't know, and this is the lovely Olive, who is the host of What's on Your Mind. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Mm.
You didn't put the drama in it, but it's
Oh,
okay.
really? Oh, okay. I just thought I'd add a bit of theatre to it. And, we're going to be talking some really interesting stuff. So I'm going to be really good today, and I'm not going to interrupt.
Be yourself, please.
Okay? Because
Be yourself.
there's a lot of comments about me interrupting, and I wouldn't do it to Alistair V. And if
No,
Alistair
I
V
said it.
was
It's
here.
not comments.
Exactly.
I said it.
I know. That's exactly what I mean. So I'm just going to be quiet like a church mouse.
No. Be yourself. It's okay. Be yourself. It's okay.
I might make a few funny faces.
The show wouldn't be the same without you being yourself. So we'll move right in because I've got a lot of goodies for us today, and I want us to get into it really quickly.
Okay.
Because time always flies away from us when we're having fun here, and we always digress. So we give room for digression.
Okay.
We talked about the show on herbs, and I thought it would be a good thing to kind of start before we actually start seeing the herbs in the kitchen, to actually talk about them bit by bit in little nuggets. Before, yes.
Preparation.
Yes, that kind of prepping us into it.
Mm-hmm.
And just so that when we get to the kitchen, we're already kind of recapping on what we already know.
I see.
And so I've called them herb of the week. Whenever we're going to have
Herb of the week.
herb of the week.
Interesting. Herb of the week. Okay.
So the herb of the week is the holy basil.
Oh, I should have got a sound effect for that, I think I've got one. Hold on. Let's see if we can find a sound effect.
While you're trying to find the sound effect.
Okay. What
basil spelled as Basil.
Okay. I've got one. So
Go ahead. Did you hear that? I didn't hear that.
I
hope our listeners heard that. Well, you've got the little picture of the basil, the simple basil up there, right in between DJ Val and I. And that's the fresh one. That's the fresh one. Many of you have it on we talked about people having herbs on their windowsills. It's a very quick one. Don't. No, you can't eat. God, he starts again. Why did I give him permission? Okay, many of you have this. You can find it in potted versions. Some buy fresh, some buy dry. There is no discrimination between the fresh and the dry. As a matter of fact, the scientists will tell you that the dry ones lock and hold the nutrients just as well. The difference is with the fresh and the dry, I personally find, is that the fragrance is slightly different. Now, the fresh one tastes slightly different as well, but the nutritional values, none is lost on both fresh and dry. No, none. They're all
Because you think because it's dry, all the
no, not at all. As a matter of fact, with herbs, most of them hold their nutrients better when they're dry, as opposed to, you look at the coriander we had downstairs, and then I closed it and there was no oxygen, it just went yellow. So yes, of course, we think of the lifeline with the fresh ones, but with the dry ones, no fear. Do not discriminate. If you have the fresh one readily available, fine. If you don't, but the thing with the fresh one, I find, is you can very easily puree them into as part of your marinades. Again, it gives, because it's fresh, it gives the liquid to your marinade. Like Alistair does when he does all his steak stuff. So we can use up. And with the fresh ones, don't be afraid to use the stem as well. So you don't have to just pick it. You can blend in and puree the stem alongside with it. Quickly, just benefits of basil. I discovered the benefits of basil when I was working with a lovely food scientist called Auntie Awa. Auntie Awa, if you're watching, shout out. And then she analyzes the nutritional values of food that goes into school children's food, both primary and secondary school. But she's a food analyst, and she said to me, basil is, so she was trying to increase the zinc content in this menu. And she just said, just throw in some basil in it. I said, what does that do? He said, oh, there's lots of zinc in basil. It will just raise the content. And I was like, whoa. And I began to pay attention to basil since then. And there's so many nutritional benefits for basil. It oxidizes stress, as they say. What does that mean? Simply because it reduces, how does it? It's got compounds that are free radicals. So in that way, it helps your body get rid of toxins. It's also good for heart disease because it inhibits calcium. So it allows the blood. It inhibits calcium, prevents the buildup of plaque in your bloodstreams. So that can help improve your blood pressure, diabetes as well. It's known because it does all this oxidation, bringing down stress, etc. Some have even likened it to being, and it's because of the free radicals that it prevents cancer in things like the bowel. Again, because it also detoxifies the bowel and helps.
Little thing here.
This little thing, yeah. A lot of herbs, people don't know how beneficial they are. Yeah, because it also brings down the inflammation.
Mm-hmm.
And the way it does that is it's got essential oils that are called, I read this one out, it's called citronellol oils.
I almost feel like the basil needs to have a placeholder as well. It's like our special guest today, isn't it?
And it also contains something called adaptogens, which are anti-stress substances, which help. It boosts your energy and it induces your happy hormones, and that means it's able to. They put it in treatments and alternative therapy for depression, and of course, it's got the detoxifying properties, and also generally the basil has antibacterial properties, and amongst it treats skin allergies, urinary infections, respiratory, abdominal. That's just in summary, but it's an all-round good herb, and you can cook it in many ways. For today, my tip to cook it, you can put it in your marinade, blend it in with all your marinade stuff, your spices, your tomatoes, your onions.
Jollof rice?
I put basil in jollof rice. I do the mix. Again, by the time we get to the kitchen, I'll show you how I do my dry mix. The ones I use for the humble jollof rice and the ones I use for chicken marinades, etc. But that's our segment. Very quickly on basil, and then let's move on to other things. Shall we take a break?
We shall take a break, but we don't go nowhere. Basil will be gone, but we will be back. Okay. Well, Mr. Basil is gone. He's trying to be a bit stubborn there, but I got rid of him.
No, you can look into it, do your own research, but don't be afraid. Add it to your mix, and go ahead. Tell me, let me know if it's your favorite, is your thing. If it's not, or if you've just discovered it, or you're just discovering it, let us know.
Okie dokie. What next have we got on the menu?
We have, I mean, the news as well. I always take my cue from what's happening in the news. Strangely, I think because if someone says to me, "Really?" I said, "I actually do," because
it's a very Alistair V-ish trait, you know.
Yes, we listen to the news a lot here in this house. So, and he takes a different angle, I take a different angle, which is good, you know. Yeah, because we're both unique. And so one thing I noticed was there's so much storm and crisis in especially the financial sector this past I don't want to name names. The business that's gone bust, the CEO had to resign, but there's just so much stress and crisis brewing in different corporate sectors. Lawsuits here and there, Europe, all over the world. And apart from that, we also have stress that comes from natural disaster, which is constantly looming. And I thought, wow, you know, this really is, it's like the whole world is going through different storms, we've talked about times and seasons, but I thought we should just zero in on that word storm, because as I was listening to the news, it kept coming, oh, the storm will soon be over, the storm is brewing in the White House, this, that, and I thought, let's look at that word, storm. Yeah, you know, natural elements in the dictionary definition, storm, in the case where the ocean currents have risen and have caused the waters to become dangerous waves. Yes,
like the storm when Jesus went on the Sea of Galilee.
Yeah, with the disciples in the boat.
Yeah.
So, but we've then used that word as a metaphor for crisis.
Yep.
You know, and so even in the best of life seasons, everyone goes through storms. So
yeah,
from the rich to the poor, the famous, the educated, the uneducated.
I think the thing is with the poor, the storm seems to last longer.
Sometimes even with our darling Boris, it just seemed like his storms would never end. You know?
I think he's just
he creates his storm himself, right?
Yeah, I think he likes to be in the storm. He likes to be the eye of the storm.
Okay, we'll look into all of that shortly, and I think DJ Val, we might. There's so much to talk about here, so we might stretch this one a little bit till next week. So I wouldn't rush it. I'll take my time and go through them.
Okay.
And so that if we have to do a part 2, fine, we'll do a part 2. But just so that we go through it in a little bit of detail. So we said no one's exempt from the storm. And Jesus tells us that in John 16. And he says, these things I have spoken to you. You know, I watched The Chosen. So now the Synoptic Gospels read slightly different to me. They read more like the actor Ruby's talking to me. I forget he's only an actor. He's not Jesus.
Oh dear.
Let me plug that. The Chosen. It's an app. The series on the life of Jesus, the chosen, it's the best thing that happened to me. I'm not a big TV person, but I literally, my weekends, it formed, I can't wait for season. There are 3 seasons. Season 4 is in process now. They're working on that. But I digress. No, right, so.
You digress?
I digress. Because I love it.
What?
My church people, they're fed up of hearing about the chosen. I'm constantly talking about it. Anyhow, so Jesus says, these things I have spoken to you, that in me you may have peace.
Are you trying to do his voice?
Yes.
Okay. You have to. You see, now you have to watch it to see why she did it like that. But it's okay.
Yes, please do it. And he's got such Jesus-like features. Honestly, anyway, if there's such a thing as Jesus-like features,
Let's be careful there.
I
you
love the program. I love the series. Never have I come across a biblical series. I thought the Bible was great. This
It's
took
very,
it
very,
to a whole new
very,
level.
very well written. Very
Very
well
well
written and produced.
Yes.
Yeah.
Back again.
Mhm.
This I say to you, that in the world you will have tribulations. Amplified version calls it, you will have trials, temptations, and crises. But be of good cheer. And I love how Jesus, he doesn't leave it there of, oh, be of good cheer, go and be happy. He gives you a reason why you should be of good cheer. He said, because I have overcome the world.
Hallelujah.
So not just overcome, because somebody could say, well, he's overcome in his little territory in Nazareth. He's overcome the world. So that means this tribulation he's talking about is a global one.
Yep.
It's one that the whole world would experience. So he doesn't leave us in the dark about the reality of the tribulation on earth. Why do we have tribulation on earth? Because the earth is no longer in its original state. It's no longer in the Eden that God wanted it to be. It's now a fallen state where God's word is no longer settled on earth. There's a scripture that says, for forever, O Lord, thy word is settled in heaven. So there is you can't scratch head over God's sovereignty in heaven. But on earth, man compromised that sovereignty. He then had to bring in alternative plans and routes for us to reign on earth, whilst on earth. And that's why Jesus says, I've overcome it for you. So I hope this doesn't offend those who don't quite believe in the messianic redemption qualities of Christ, because it says he's done that overcoming. So there's nothing we can do in our own strength that can give us victory. Even if you gain it, it will be temporary. It will not be permanent whilst you're on earth here. Eternal victory is whilst you're in heaven. But there's victory that we need on earth here. We talked about that when we talked about From Glory to Glory last week, the crowns, that there is a crowning and a reward on earth here. Part of that crowning also is your peace. That's also a reward. That's a gift. So, in a nutshell, no one's exempt from storms. At any given time, a storm could erupt. If you live in Europe, you know how the weather changes. So 1 minute it could be nice and bright, next minute it changes. So, and it could be brewing. So storms happen for various reasons. We're not going to go into the scientific side of it, how the cumulonimbus and all the different clouds meet, they get heavy, they begin to dissipate. That'd be too much for my mouth to try and pronounce all those. Yes, much as I love geography, but the scientific aspect of it, let's leave aside for another day or maybe never. But we're using the metaphor, storms, the crisis, the issues, the the problems, some people say our kiss, our matter, all those sort of things that make up storms. Just a few. This list is not exhaustive by any means. I identified a few. Satanic storms. Storms that just happen simply because you have an enemy and he is the adversary. And the Bible says he goes around seeking for what? Whom he may
destroy.
Another word says devour. Another word says
devour.
He just rolls around looking for who to destroy, to kill, to steal. That's his aim, and I think we could literally plunk every problem in there, but no, that'll be giving him too much credit if we plunk every problem in that satanic thing. Now, the jury's out. Some people, I think that the COVID pandemic was a satanic ploy to deplete mankind. Let's not get into argument. Some people will tell me,
do speculation.
Some people, let's not get into that. But I put that problem in that category. That's why I put it. Because it was for the first time everybody looked upward because we were so helpless. We couldn't look down, we all looked upward. Even those it was terrible. So I think I put that one there. Then there are many others. People will tell you depression, the satanic oppression that just suppresses you, and you're just lost. You can't, debilitate you, and there's also a crisis that comes from the influence of Satan, i.e., Daniel had prayed, and the answers to his prayers were withheld by the prince of Persia, right? Mm-hmm. And the angel Michael said to him, am I getting it wrong? The warrior angel said to him that, Daniel, the day you prayed, your prayers were answered, but it was intercepted. And Daniel was there waiting. Now the crisis that we're in, that crisis is, you're in limbo because this has happened. Now, you may disagree with me. I think everything that happens in the physical has a spiritual element to it. And so there are many times when, until we deal with the spiritual, Daniel sought to fast. He sought because he was in a land where so many changes and things were happening, and he wanted to consecrate himself to the Lord. So in wanting to do something good, the devil was not happy with the outcome. The devil is not interested in you doing what you want to do. The devil is not interested in you going about your lifestyle. He's not interested in that. But what he's interested in is anything that the outcome will glorify God. That he's interested in. And so the moment he knew that in that, he intercepted the answer to that prayer. So Daniel could have said, well, I'm not praying anymore. The prayer hasn't come. 2 days he stopped. No, but he didn't. He continued until the angel came and presented. And that was encouraging. So many times that happens to us. Another kind of storm I call sudden. I hear the suddenly blessing, the suddenly testimony, the suddenly God did it. I hear that a lot. But there's also a suddenly storm. You're minding your business, going about you, and suddenly there's a problem. Suddenly you're walking down the street. Somebody knife, what's that thing? Pickpockets? Yes. I'm minding my own business, going about, maybe trying to catch my bus. Somebody spills a drink on the footpath and I slip. That's a sudden storm. In slipping, I injure there's an injury which now ends up in hospital. That's a suddenly problem. I was minding my own business, going about, burglaries, all those sort of things. Do they cage you out or do they just mini, dumb, So that's a sudden problem. Another one is a self storm. Because you've made a bad decision, like I call them DIY storms. They arise as a result of my bad judgment, poor choices, yes, lack of application of wisdom. Say a typical, please, if you've had body enhancement, please don't shoot me on this one. So, you think you want to lose weight. And many people have died trying to do this. You go to the cheapest country to get the surgery done. You meet a whack doctor. He does all of that. And then you come back home. You've got infection. You're back in hospital. That infection leads to one multiple problem after the other. That's a self-inflicted problem. I've inflicted it on myself.
Yep.
So me landing in the hospital had nothing to do with the devil, had nothing to do with Satan. It was my poor choices.
Poor choices.
Yes, I chose to go to a whack doctor.
I think many times people do that, though. They just make bad choices. And then
Yeah, and that leads to that sort of DIY storm, as I call it. Another one, moving on quickly, is storms by association. Storms that we face not because of our bad decision, not because of our bad choices, but because it's vicarious. You're with that person and the person makes bad choices and that affects you. I will very happily use us as a married couple as an example. There've been many, many, many times in our past where I've dragged you into what was my mess. It becomes your problem because it was my poor choice, my bad decision, or it wasn't your bad choice or your bad decision. It was my problem. So that problem becomes your problem by association. Yes, as a married couple, people say, well, that's really how marriage is, but that happens.
That's really how marriage
That's how it really happens. That's it. It also happens with you and your friend. You could be at the right place at the wrong time. We hear stories of children who get stabbed in trying to put out a fight because their friend starts a fight and they're trying to get their friend out of the fight and they get in the crossfire. They get stabbed, they get shot, they go, all those sort of stories. They're at the wrong place or probably at the okay place at the wrong time. Just storm by association. Somebody's girlfriend is upset and then they come and they shoot out. You don't know the girlfriend, you don't know these people, but you're all at the bus stop by association. Can we do anything about those? Not sure. Then the ones
I just remember they call that joint venture.
What?
If you're arrested, it's called joint
exactly.
venture.
People get arrested. And I used to say to Alice then in school, once they start kicking off on the playground, move, extricate yourself from that situation because you're taller than everybody. Who are they going to pick on first? You. They're going to call
tends to be who do they remember?
and you stand out, So move because you get into trouble, not because you were the troublemaker, but because you're in the group of the troublemakers, And another one, moving on quickly, try not to rush through it, is what I call sovereign storms. Let's unpack this one a bit. Sovereign storms that God allows in our lives. They're not sent to harm us. I've broken this down in two sections. They're not sent to harm us. They're not tragedies or sicknesses, but rather tests, as Paul says, to strengthen our character and our faith. And they help us mature, both in life and in Christ. And we often encounter these sort of storms, I find, when maybe there's a call of God in your life and you're being stubborn, you're being proud, you're just being downright ignorant and just not towing the path that the Lord wants you to tow. And I think that sometimes the Lord will allow those storms to get your attention, and if you do surrender, that's then where he begins to mold you and build you through the storms. There's another sovereign storm that I say is the Job storm, where Job didn't do anything, was minding his own business, but yet a contract was already taken out on his life, not on earth, not by baddies, but by the Almighty God himself with Satan, where God is bragging on Job. Say, have you considered? And I thought, God, why now? Why would you even throw him under the bus? That's throwing someone under the bus. Have you considered? Consider
But
him.
God came out on top, right?
But that's also, but when you're in that storm, one thing I've found out is it's not how the storm came about you're interested in. You don't care how it came about, whether it's God that sent it, but you just want it to end. But Job, of course, was tried, tested. His wife said, curse the Lord and die. And he said, no, yea though, even if he slays me, yea though will I worship him. And of course, the God of overdue, as they call him, gave Job restoration. And of course, that was proof that God actually doesn't forsake. In that situation, it was a case where God needed to prove a point to the enemy that I know my sheep and my sheep know me. Job was his, and God trusted that Job was his own. Take a break? You want to take a break?
I think we're gonna have to. We take a break. I think we're gonna have to come back and do the shout-outs and then continue this next week.
Of course. That's why
But
we've done the
Job one is really interesting.
the different types of storm. So I'll recap on the. Let's take a break. Recap on the storms and the different types.
Are back, and as you can see, there is no perfect storm here. Nothing but a tranquil sea.
We do have storms. We do. We do. But we've been in enough storms in our lives to know where to throw our anchor.
I was just thinking exactly the same thing. Where to wear your anchor, or whether or not you just need to ride it out.
We thank God for God's clarity on that one. So let's do a quick recap. Satanic storms, that which the devil himself tries to bring. He tried to do it with Jesus while he was fasting. Jesus told him where to put it. So if he could if he could attempt Jesus, why wouldn't he attempt us?
Exactly.
I like this thing Christians think, that the moment they become a Christian's life is honky-dory, nice and sweet.
I think people have worked out that that's not the case.
But if we look at the life of Christ, then in that same way we would also have those temptations. And when we look at how we overcome storms, we will look at the model of Christ as well, and we'll look at a few biblical characters like Paul and some others. Second type of storm, we said sudden storms. Yeah. I said self storms, DIY, self-imposed storms, and we talked about storms by association, by vicarious association, by way of being around people or being connected to certain people. And then we talked about sovereign storms, the one that the Lord himself allows for various reasons, and we highlighted Job. So we're going to go next week. We'll look into how Jesus dealt with storms, how Paul dealt with storms, and how we can deal with storms, how we can engage with the storm, how we can engage in the eye of the storm. You talked about the eye of the storm. That's when we begin to engage with it. We find the eye of the storm, and whatever that means for you. If that means we'll go into all of that next week by God's grace. And then
interesting. So it's become a series, has it?
So we're not rushing it, and we take our time and break it down into really simple nuggets. But remember, none of us is exempt from storms. None of us in this life. As Jesus told us, we will have tribulations. But what? He's overcome for us, and in him we're more than victorious.
Okay, let's do shout outs.
Yep.
Shall we? Cue up the shout outs. Hold on, let's press because we like to. Okay, we are back ready for our shout out session. And are you ready for the?
I think I am, because there are a few birthdays and there are a few get well wishes. So I'll just make them generic. Birthdays, it was Kayla's birthday, Alistair's
Kayla.
cousin. It was her birthday.
Happy birthday,
yes.
Kayla.
So if it was your birthday this week or this month, happy birthday. May the good Lord bless you. Long life is your portion. Happy birthday to you. And we then we have the get well wishes. Glory be to God. How am I still poorly? Get well. I know you're listening. Get well soon. Get well soon. Yes. Just continue to sit in the wings for perfect healing. And I'm glad that you're on the mend. Who else? Yes, a lot of the aunties and uncles that we give shout outs to last week, they're on the mend, they're getting better. And if you haven't been feeling well and you're one of our listeners, may the good Lord send his healing wings speedily to you in Jesus' name.
Okay. I want to give a shout out as well then.
Okay, go ahead.
Because you were going to forget. Okay. Let me wait till you finish. I shouldn't assume. I don't want to cause a storm.
Go ahead.
I don't want to cause a self-inflicted storm. You see how I'm learning? I don't want to do that.
I always forget, so go ahead.
Let me hold on.
Go ahead.
You can do it.
Go ahead.
You sure?
Time is ticking, yeah.
Okay, so special shout out going out there to Auntie Ose as well. She always tunes in. Auntie Stella, thank you so much indeed. Auntie Angela, I always see you guys in and out. To Beckett,
Femi,
Femi,
Mr. Cohen, Mr. Wheeler,
Ifeoma,
Allison,
Franklin. I'm doing this well now. Franklin.
Kunle.
Yeah, I said Kunle. There's another one as well.
The two Kunles, yes.
No, there's one. There's one Kunle. There's another. Zimmerman, Adrian Zimmerman.
Yes.
Adrian as well. Shouts going out to my friends, the Gospel Geeks as well.
Yes, I was going to say Gospel Geeks.
They tune in. So to Hazel Ann tuned in as well last week. Thank you, Hazel Ann, for joining. She's our class captain.
Favor and her husband.
They tune in?
Favor, yeah.
See, tuning in means you've got to put a comment on the screen. So if I don't see you on the screen, then it's a different story. But you got to jump on the screen. And then, it's really important. And thank you, Auntie Lena, and thank you to everybody that's been commenting on the show. I think the new method is working very well.
Yes,
I've got to say. Thank you so much indeed to the marketing. Thank you to everybody who's new, who's discovered the show.
Yes.
And
in time
all of
we'll get to know your names.
All of your very, very encouraging comments as well.
Yes.
So,
I was well touched. Thank you. I was like, is this real? I said to him, is this real?
It just goes to show when you do the right thing and things are in the right place. I was a bit reluctant because, I'm kind of a live streaming guy, but, I followed the instruction. These are the marketing team, and lo and behold, it produced good fruit. And of course, there's one very, very big shout out that I want to do. I want to say shout out going out there to my darling Olive. You're saying, why didn't you shout her last week when she was here? You never give her a shout out.
But you do that.
But it's this weekend. Well, yeah, around about this time would be our wedding anniversary. So
10 plus 1.
Yeah, 10 plus. Well, someone said you should always go for the higher number. You don't actually count the lower number. So one of my guys at work actually said that. I was telling them about what we did for where we went to the Royal Albert Hall. Yeah, you can tell people went to Royal Albert Hall, went to watch Black Panther with a live orchestra. It was amazing, absolutely breathtaking, absolutely amazing. If you ever get the opportunity,
and it was a one-time thing.
Yeah, it was a one-time. But funny enough, one of my other friends went there as well. I think they were there that same day too. But it was an awesome thing for you to actually see the orchestra doing their thing. While the movie was going, and he's like, "What do you watch? Are you watching the movie? Or are you watching the orchestra?"
Or the drummer? Or the talking drummer?
Or the talking drummer from Senegal. I don't know what his name was. No, don't say Nagadov. It's not his name.
Jaimo.
I don't know what his name was, but he was very, very excited with himself, But he played that little talking drum, the Senegalese talking drum, throughout the whole movie, and it's surprising how long, or how much that talking drum was in the movie.
Yeah,
you don't realize it because you think, this
The
age
drums,
they probably just had it on a loop, but he played that thing throughout the whole movie pretty much, and live, of course, he did the same as well. So so we're celebrating. So it's really good. It's lovely to have you on the show, and thank you for a lovely year. Could have been on here a lot earlier, but we had to wait for that storm to move first. That would allow you to negotiate your way into the studio now that it's all done. But there we go. So shout out to us. Better say shout out to Alistair V as well, and Christine before we forget to.
Yeah.
We'll get in trouble. You know how it is.
Our kids were partly responsible for our reunion, so we never lived them out of
our story and celebration.
They were very crucial.
But all shall be revealed later on. We have a very special show about that coming up.
Really? Do we? Oh dear. Okay.
Whoops. Maybe not.
Listen, if anything that blesses people.
This will definitely bless people. So we're working on some things in the wings. So, but I think that's where we need to wrap it up from here, my love. It's a really interesting thing. Storms. I like the storm by association. I think when I was younger, I was the storm, and everybody else around me just got hit. So when you said, it's a bit of, I don't believe in karma, but sometimes, what you do, sometimes it does come back to you. So there was no how, no way I wouldn't want to be a not storm breaker, storm maker. I loved a good old storm when I was younger. As you get older, you mellow, right? So but no, thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to be back again, same time, but same place next week. Do remember to leave your comments. Join the army of people that leave comments at the end of the show. We really do appreciate everybody taking the time out to be here. And we are going to, we'll see you next week, right? Yes. Guaranteed?
Yes.
Promise?
Yes.
All right.
As long as I've got breath in my lungs, I'll be here. I could go home. I could go home tonight.
Well, no, that's not really part of the master plan. Okay, I can tell you that much. There's some things you know and there's some things you don't know. But that I do know, so it's not part of the plan. All right.
So we'll be here.
We'll be here. Okay. Bye, folks.